Hi, well, welcome to the Old Geezer's Diary. Today is Wednesday, the 31st of July 2019, and today the topics, well, I've got two. One is a little bit of background on the whys and wherefores of this little blog, and topic two is knife crime. Apparently, according to a report I've just been reading, knife crime is up, and I think the police actually think it's out of control. Hi, welcome to the Old Geezer's Diary. My name's Chris, and today, well, two topics. The first one is a bit about this vlog. This video diary is really aimed at older people and people who are maybe growing older, I don't know, because there's so much video online that's aimed at younger people, and I thought it'd be nice to have something for us, really. But the intention and aim is to really kind of point out bits of the news that affect us, to bring you bits and pieces that you wouldn't otherwise maybe see on mainstream news. Because let's be honest, most of our news these days comes through the internet or on TV, and the kind of stories that appear on those tend to be what I'd call just lead stories. I mean, the main stories on the main TV news. On the main TV news, do they have 10 stories? Maybe 10 or a dozen stories. And most of those aren't relevant to us in real terms. On the local news, they maybe have 5 or 6 stories, and the same thing applies. If you read local news online, then I think you're as likely as not to get news that's somewhat twisted. So that's the reason for this vlog. I'm really kind of trying to do something, help, inform, advise, and have a chat as well, because it's nice. Okay, now the headline stuff on today's vlog is the stunning 80% rise in knife crime since 2014 and the stunning 19% rise in violent crime. How does that all work? Do you know? I find it all awful, really, because every day we see on television some young person usually has been knifed or killed or injured. And we all kind of throw our hands up and say, my goodness, what's happening out there? But there is a lot of other knife crime as well. There's a lot of robbery-related knife crime. There's a lot of attack-related knife crime in the general population. And a large number of those knife crimes are carried out by people over 18, according to the police. Something like 1 in 5 of them is by younger people, knife crimes. So there you have it. It's really a scary thing, and I honestly think this is simply down to the fact that previous governments, Mrs May when she was Home Secretary, the lovely David Cameron, Mrs May when she's Prime Minister, they've cut all the funding on A, the police, which means that there aren't enough policemen on the streets, and B, on social work and social welfare, which means that young people don't have so many places to go for guidance. And there's also some side effects from things like schools. Schools no longer have the funding, really, probably to do much pastoral work. So they can't really help kids with their lives because it's difficult being young in today's society. So I'm going to say the knife crime is a really bad thing. Violent crime is a really bad thing, and I think we should lay both those really bad things at the foot or at the doorstep of our government for the last 5 or 6 years. I think they've done an awful job. Austerity hasn't worked because we're still heavily in debt. Austerity hasn't worked because it's starting to damage civilization. That's my honest opinion. I do think that if we continue to cut everything that comes in front of us, what happens is that our country gradually becomes less and less civilized. From an older person's point of view, it's not quite as important maybe as we may think. I think a lot of us oldies get quite, I don't know what the word is, upset, embarrassed, annoyed by the level of crime. But for most of us, it doesn't affect us. Sometimes it does in a very serious and very personal way. But a lot of crime, a huge amount of crime, especially violent crime and knife crime, is between young people. So they need help, but in reality it doesn't affect us quite so much. But I do think we as a society have to start taking a bit more notice of the crap that goes on when we pull away. Yeah, I think it's true. When we pull away the supports that civilised society rests on. So the police, so social welfare, social care for younger people, all of those things, and in fact social care for older people. Let's do that another day. But I sincerely believe that what's happened over the past few years of austerity is that society's level of civilization in our country has declined. It's got worse. Think about it. I'd love to know what you think. Please feel free to tell me both here on YouTube or on Facebook. I read all the comments that appear on the channel. I'm Chris. This is the Old Geezer's Diary. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. And you can also find me on our own little website, which is called Old Geezer's Diary. And that's on something called Blogspot. If you have a viewpoint, get in touch. I'd like to hear from you. If you can actually make a video with your phone, get in touch. I'd love to play it on here. So tell me what you think, and tell me what you think of my comments. I'm glad to hear disagreements. You tell me. So that's it. I'm Chris. This is the Old Geezer's Diary, and I will see you soon.